What's good, y'all? My name is Rorvis Paradox, aka Docs Brando. I'd like to welcome you all to another installment of Rorvis Reviews. This episode is gonna be a really good one. I'm excited. I've just been geeking just to be able to talk about the album that we're going to be talking about today. If you can't tell by the cap on the head, we got something from the West, baby. Make sure that you're subscribed to me on IG, Blue Sky, Twitter, wherever social media besides TikTok. I'm not. I know I'm gonna have to use it. I'm not using it now. Can't do it. But anyway, make sure you're tapped in to know to stay up to date on anything going on with your boy, especially with content that's gonna drop. With all that being said, let's get into it. Now, the album we're going to be talking about today is GNX from Kendrick Lamar. Now, this is coming off Kendrick having a great year for himself, going through one of the biggest hip-hop beats of all time, having one of the biggest hits of all time as well, with Not Like Us dominating the whole soundtrack of the year, from clubs to parties to even news anchor bringing it up, even using for promo. Everyone is using the song. Everyone's been singing Not Like Us this whole year. So when you have that going on, you have out one of the biggest concerts going on that to happen to this year, the pop out with basically bringing the whole West Coast together, especially representing LA. This has just been a good year for him, and he's already a very successful artist, but this right here has probably been the most he's ever been seen or heard or talked about for a whole year. He's very much so a recluse, someone that doesn't really like to be outside that much. But for this to be the case, plus you have the Super Bowl halftime announcement, this has just been a successful year for Kendrick. But you can already tell this is only like the beginning of it. But to get into the album, this album is so different from Kendrick. Usually Kendrick has a good promotion set, there's a lot of pre-work that goes into an album of his, and GNX is not like that at all. Not like that at all. We got a 1 minute snippet video, and the next thing you know, 20 minutes later, he has dropped an album on us, and everyone in the world is like, what the fuck, Kendrick? Why now? There's people like myself who are at work just like, dude, why would you do this now? Why? Like, I literally in a meeting right now with my whole department, and your ass is dropping an album, and everybody is texting me, blowing up my phone, saying, yo, Kendrick did it again, Kendrick is him, the West is back, he really Pac. And it's like, you don't know what the fuck is going on, but you already knew just based off of what people were saying, this was a crazy release. And then when you find out that this is a 12-track album, 44 minutes, and you're like, Kendrick, this feels kind of light. What? This is not like you. But this is very much so Kendrick. This is Kendrick at his peak West Coast form. This is him representing where he's from to the max, being very authentic to himself and to the place of his origin. I think this is easily his most replayable album with 12 tracks, 44 minutes. It's crazy for me to say that as somebody that's a huge Kendrick fan that can just play an album at any time and listen to it from top to bottom, no problems. But with this album in particular, with the track order that he's created and track listing, it's just like every song can stand alone if need be. You know, like if you just want to put like one or two songs like on a playlist to like join in with some different other songs, it's not going to dear tier or anything or nothing like that. Like I said, he has a great catalog and very impressive, but it's just that some songs, you know, you don't want to hear without being in context with his albums. This is one of the first time where the songs don't feel so interconnected, but when together they like create such an impressive album that literally you could just like, either you can start any song back at any time, or you just be like, oh, I just heard this album again, play it back. And it's just insane for a person of his pedigree to be at this point that he can still impress you. I've been a Kendrick fan for over a decade now plus, and being my favorite rapper of this era, the person that I got to see become the star he would become. It just amazes me that I'm still shocked by an album of his. Like, this is insanely insane body of work. Production from Soundwave and Jack Antoine for most of this album was highly appreciative and phenomenal, with additional production help from Mustard, Sean Momberg, and Kamasi Washington. This album is just a solid listen, in my opinion. I think this is, again, one of Kendrick's best work, and I'm not the only one that agrees with this. Already people, and it's only been a week since it's been released, and people are already debating whether or not if this is top 3 in his catalog. We're talking about the person that has Tip of a Butterfly, one of my favorite albums of all time. Good Kid, Mad City, a lot of people's favorite album of all time. We even have some damn fans. We have people that really cherish Mr. Morale. You know, we even have some people, the original K-Dot fans with Section 80, who are still debating whether or not GNX is up there like that. This is how great this album is. This is how impactful it is, and it's just amazing to see an artist like him get to this point. And I just love it for what he's bringing to the table. Another thing to note about this album is the incorporation of Dea Barrera, a mariachi singer from LA. She's prominent through this album with just certain singing in certain portions. Like, she's not throughout the whole album, but just like kind of like beginning, middle, and end. Like, not like freshly spread out, but like just maybe 3 songs. But the points that she makes her appearance and makes her presence known are phenomenal. Like, she's starting off the album singing, and just like, we're like, Kendrick, what are you doing? And then this is where it's really cool, because I remember some people trying to complain about the pop out not incorporating its, Hispanic, the brown people of LA. And this is where Kendrick did something to show you that not only is he tapped into his culture, he's going to show you how great he is and how he does it. He doesn't want anyone to demand him to do anything. He's going to do it of his own accord. And for an artist like her, who was very low level, no one really knew about her, but she was singing during the Dodgers celebration, he popped out and was like, yeah, I need to work with her instantly. Boom. And that goes out for some other artists within here as well. Kendrick does put people on, but it's not in the same way that some people will want. But the platform that he's given on this album in particular is insane, and it just goes on top of the platform he gave to LA artists with the pop out. With all that being said, it's time for me to get into the highlights. To get into the highlights, we must start off with track 1, Whacked Out Murals. Now, this, in my opinion, was a phenomenal intro. Kendrick always does a great job of setting the tone with his albums, and this one in particular was one of his best works. The title incorporates an actual event that occurred where a mural of Kendrick in Compton was defaced recently during the 2020s and 2024, defaced with someone who is a fan of the Canadian, the boy, the certified, defaced his mural with placing OVO and some other remarks all over it, and truly ruining a great piece of art of Kendrick from that space that was done by someone else. So the person who actually did that artwork was highly offended by that act, but it doesn't make it better. But that artist did feel better knowing that Kendrick felt some type of way as well, and is solidifying that moment with this song here. This song sets the tone in the sense that it's continuing the energy of Kendrick has felt this year. He's definitely felt more abrasive, very more upfront, and this is a side of Kendrick that we've enjoyed this year, and it's just a great way to set it off for this album. This album has a response to what Lil Wayne and other people have been saying about Kendrick getting to perform at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, with the line being, all my hard work and I let Lil Wayne down, basically saying that, he's been busting his ass his whole career, and anyone should know that. Well, everyone should know now if you've been in hip hop and enjoy Kendrick's story. He's a huge fan of Lil Wayne, like a major fan. Like truly, like early Kendrick had a lot of sound and cadence trying to emulate Wayne. So for someone that you look up to, a collaborator, or someone you could possibly consider a friend, to say that I deserve to be where you at, basically ignoring everything Kendrick has done up to this point, you know, it's kind of sad. And it's not like now some people are saying this is a diss. This is not a diss towards Wayne. Let's get that out the way. That's not how you should take it. This was just him saying that, you know, it's basically crazy how life goes, you know. So please don't be running around saying this is a Wayne diss. That's unnecessary. That's distrustful. You lead people astray and you're trying to hoodwink people. We don't do that around here. All right. Now to go further, there's a response for Snoop as well, because Snoop was someone that was trying to play this both sides of the fence during the beef. And this is a line that I've enjoyed when Kendrick said tailor made. Snoop posted tailor made. I prayed it was the edibles. I couldn't believe it. It was only right for me to let it go. Just saying that, like, somebody that's supposed to be like higher up, somebody's supposed to be a representative of the same location you from, over here bullshitting a little bit. But like, he's saying he bullshitting just because everybody knows Snoop is a known stoner. So he's saying the body high fucked him up and he wasn't thinking about what he was thinking. Tangent, Snoop responded to that on Twitter saying, yeah, it was edibles, Neff. So it's just like, again, funny how that's fucking going. But what I really enjoyed about this intro, there is one line that really lets you know what type of album that you're getting into. Like I said, intros for Kendrick usually set the tone for the album, but this one line lets you know for sure. And that line goes, fuck a double entendre. I want y'all to feel this shit. You know, this is coming from somebody that people would say is Mr. Rhymey Rhyme, lyrical miracle, always over the top, trying to go above your head, never really clear, and you have to have a doctorate to understand what he's rapping about. That's the negative stigmatism and stereotypes of Kendrick's work. But he's saying in particular that you don't know, fuck all that. I'm being very clear how I'm feeling. I'm gonna let you know. But he still does double entendre. Don't let the like it sneak by. But this album is him being very clear, intentional with what he's talking about, and very focused, and trying to have tunnel vision that he can share with his audience, which is, I think, is a great idea and well executed for his part. The next song, Squabble Up. Now this is amazing because a lot of people were worried, because if you've been a Kendrick fan for a while, the snippet off of All Right, everybody wanted to hear what that song was going to be, but because of a situation, that song was lost. But in this case, no, we got it. We got the snippet that came from the Not Like Us video, and everyone loves it. Like, this is just amazing. The sample is great as well. This is just a very West Coast-esque song, and just the way it's bumping, it's just like, I ain't gonna lie, man, if you don't feel like dancing to this shit, you ain't got no heart, you ain't got no soul. And I know for damn sure you ain't got no rhythm, because I be getting down to this motherfucker. Oh my god, that squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up. Man, you literally can't help it. It's just infectious, you know? And that goes along with a well executed music video. That's something y'all should check out. Highly recommend. It was definitely enjoyable. There's not really too much to say about the song. Like, this is just so dope. Just so fucking dope. Luther featuring SZA, man, beautiful. Just a beautifully smooth track. A great sample of Luther Vandross, If This World Were Mine, and how they incorporate every time the hook pops up is just well executed. Something to note, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but this was something that I noticed while just looking at the track list before even playing the album. This is the only clean song on the album. This is no explicit lyrics, nothing crazy, nothing. This is the only song on the album like that. And that's just something I found interesting, because if this song gets the push in the marketing like I believe it could, this can be played on the radio with no problems and get hella requests, getting hella play, and this could be a top charting song with the right foundation. I think it is possible. I think this is a song that could be used for film, shows, and a lot of different things. I think this is going to be one of the ones for Kendrick and SZA as well. Speaking of both of them, they get in sync together in this song, and it's just magical. It just takes a song to a whole nother level. The back and forth, the little ad-libs they do for each other, excellent. SZA is just a gorgeous singer, and her portions just like, it makes you miss the times. It makes you want more of them. But we've had some great hits between the two, but man, I need more. I need so much more between the two, because this was just excellent. You just like, it just gets you in your feels, honestly. Next track, Man at the Garden. Now this is just some motivational. This is just like you about to get ready to go perform or something. Like this is some anthem type music. Beautiful production. The main point of this song is Kendrick saying he deserves it all, and he's saying he deserves everything that comes with his fame, every award, every opportunity. He deserves it all. And this is based off the hard work that he puts in, the type of artistry he commends from not only himself but everyone around him. Everything he's done in his life has led to the moment that he's in right now. But there are people that complain and backtalk and want to dispute the stuff that he's being offered and the chances he's been given, while he busts his ass for it. Towards the end of the song, the climax where it just goes on a peak and he starts going to a different atmosphere with his rapping, and they just meet at this certain point, and it's just chef's kiss. Just like, it's just superb. This song is just excellent to hear, and it just gets, again, this is one of those songs that like you just lock in and you can get some work done listening to this. The next song, Hey Now, this is just some West Coast shit, man. It's just some West Coast shit. It's just like, if you don't like Hey Now, you're not tapped in and you a hater. Honestly, dead serious. It's just like, everything about it just gets you to a certain feel. It takes me back to the different West Coast. It definitely gives you like a new feel of like the stuff that was coming out in the 90s with the DJ Quicks, with the Snoops, and all of them. It's just like, it definitely gives you that type of vibe, and it's just like they slide. And then Dottie 6, he over here talking this shit too. Then there's a back and forth with Kendrick. The energy on this song is just great. It's just excellent. Another great song on this album, and I'm seeing a lot of people really vibing with this song, so that just goes to prove that this is one of the ones already. The next track, Reincarnated, one of my favorite songs on the album. I like Squabble Up a lot, and there's a couple more songs that I'm gonna get into, but Reincarnated, this has been the one I just gravitated towards. Now, I consider this song an iceberg, and if you know about the iceberg analogy, you know there's a lot of things on the surface as well as a bigger issue, or a lot more things going on underneath the surface of the water. So with that being said, the first portion, the iceberg, the top, that's really easy to correlate, is that this is kind of like a dagger towards Drake, who used an AI filter to sound like Pac, to use a Pac voice in the Taylor Made freestyle, a diss towards Kendrick Lamar early on in the beef. Now, Kendrick took offense to that, and you know, he made plenty of times to note that he had an issue with that notion, and everything about disrespecting Pac from Drake, Kendrick had a problem with, and many others as well. But this can be seen as Kendrick showing that he doesn't need all that bullshit to sound like and to emulate one of his favorite rappers of all time, someone that has a lot of impact on him. He was able to like really channel Pac and get into a pocket of his flow and cadence. Like when somebody texts me that he really became Pac, Kendrick truly did. You know, a note that, you know, both Geminis, both people that can get into these moments of being very cool, calm, and get into a sort of a rapid fire flow where it's just like they're off the walls insane. Kendrick was able to truly channel that, and it just led to something perfect. Like, I highly enjoy this song. Him rapping over a flip of Tupac's song, Made Niggas. The way that the song was incorporated, the beat is just insane. And again, he's really Pac for these first two verses. Now, during the first two verses, this is where the iceberg gets into the lower half, because it's more than him just trying to show off that he can emulate Pac. There's artistry to it. In the first two verses, in the Pac cadence and flow, he's painting a picture of these two different artists from different times whose lives were ruined due to the evils that came with their talents, when their talents were recognized. And some are speculating the second verse is about Billie Holiday, and there's reasons to speculate that as well. I'm not really, there's some speculation for the other first verse as well, but either way, both of these artists' lives were ruined based off of different things like temptation, hatred, every evil that can come from being famous and being a star, all that dark energy that comes towards you and just waiting for you to fall. That's what these first two verses are about. And just excellent storytelling from Kendrick's part with both of these people that he's rapping about. The third verse is Kendrick rapping as himself. The flow, the use of Pac, the Pac cadence and flow are non-existent now. And now Kendrick is just now having a conversation with God about, he's done so much. He's trying to be a changed man. But God said, I know who you are. I know you still got hate. I know you still will get active. I know, like, it's us. So I don't know why you're trying to act like I don't know. And this is where, Kendrick's saying, like, no, I will not end up like the previous artists who were destroyed by temptation. He would not be a reincarnated version of the demons that they have faced. And I thought this song in particular is just, it's words can't describe how great it is and how I feel about it. Again, one of my favorite songs of the album. Just Kendrick highlighting how great of a rapper and an artist he is. It's just 10 out of 10 song. Like, oh my God. TV Off. Holy fuck. To go from one song that is spectacular in for one reason to go to another. Like, holy fucking hell, TV Off is so good. Now, this is just pure high energy from Kendrick Lamar. There's really nothing else to talk about. Like, Kendrick is rapping his ass off, but the production and his energy, his vocal inflections, everything is top notch on this track. But most people know this song for what's been going viral this last week, and that is when the beat switch and we find out that Mustard makes the second half of the song. And when that tagline hits, Kendrick just gave Mustard something phenomenal for now on, because this should be his new tagline for certain songs, because as soon as the beat about to hit, all you hear from Kendrick is Mustard, and that bellowing of Mustard's name has been everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, my mama was asking about saying that before she even heard the song. Like, everybody and their mama hearing it, and it's just infectious. I had people at my job over here singing it before this week too. It's just like you can't help it. Once you hear it, you're saying it for the rest of your day. It's gonna be random. January 1st, you're going to be saying it randomly. You're gonna wake up in the morning, Mustard. It's just, can't help it. Just love it. I just love it. Again, Kendrick is rapping his ass off. Some great quotables in there. And it's just, I love it. I love this song. From going from TV Off, after two high energy, heavy hitting tracks, we got cool it off a bit with Dodger Blue featuring Wally the Sensei, Siete, and Roddy Ricch. Oh, real quick, to go back to TV Off, Lefty Gunplay. That boy got off with 6 words, and now everybody in the world is singing those 6 words. Shit gets crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Like, very simple, but everybody is saying that. Like, I'm seeing people's usernames on Twitter be that. So, Lefty Gunplay, salute you. You're popping off with just bare minimum. Now use that momentum. That's going to be excellent. I can't wait to see what you do with this. But to go back to Dodger Blue, Wally the Sensei, Siete, and Roddy Ricch, all of them joined together like Voltron to help Kendrick make this very easy slow jam, man. Like, this is just nothing but a whole vibe. Like, you just dance into it, you know, very slow, smooth. Somebody was saying this song is laced with 80s crack, and you know what? You might be right, because like, you can't hate this song. It's just like, you need to get close with somebody and just vibe, or like either you smoking or drinking and you just enjoying the atmosphere that's being created with this song and wherever you're using. You know, this is very smooth, laid back. It's just like, man, Kendrick can do it all. Like, he's over just, you just nod your head and then hitting your little two-step, man. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, man. Going from there, we getting back into it with Peekaboo with recent AZ Chike, and this motherfucker right here, Peekaboo is just like, again, this is very West Coast centric. This is one of them hard hitting tracks that just knock, and you just like, man, wherever you part of, you doing your thing to this right here. I'm being dead serious. It's just like, it's just one of them ones. It's just, again, Kendrick rapping his ass up, AZ Chike putting his energy into it. You know, one of my favorite lines was AZ Chike said, "I heard about your man's, not sorry for your loss." And it's just like, man, that nigga did. You said fuck him. It's just like, that's what I love about a lot of the West Coast artists out right now, that just like, they rap like they don't give a fuck, and AZ Chike is one of them, and there's more of them. So definitely check out more West Coast artists that are on the rise now, because I'm telling you, they're highly entertaining. But to go from Peekaboo, we get into the Hard Part 6, and this is very intentional, because if you pay attention to the beef, the last song that was dropped in the beef was Drake doing the Heart Part 6. Now, the Heart Part 6, the Heart Part series is a series of songs from Kendrick over the years, where it's usually used as kind of like a teaser, in a sense, to let you know, I got an album on the way and this is the vibe I'm going for, and it gets your mind right. And what Drake did was try to emulate what Kendrick just did. Well, not even emulate, just try to copy what he did. Cause Kendrick took Drake's timestamp song category and made 616 in LA, and made a crazy song for the beef when he went back to back randomly, right? So he was trying to do the same thing, but the problem was Drake's 616 Heart Part 6 was very como se dice ass culo. Like, that shit was terrible. It sucked. And there was a lot of lines in that song, and you're just like, man, Drake, why'd you say that? Who told you should say that? Nobody in your team? You know what? Fuck it. We're done with that. This Heart Part 6 which is also interesting, because the Heart series has never really been attached to any Kendrick album, so this is already interesting in that sense. But with this one, it's a gorgeously produced song with an excellent sample from SWV, which the use of SWV, the way it's incorporated with them singing their hook, magical, just very magical, very soothing, very euphoric in a way. But this song is just Kendrick able to show that, again, he's one of the greatest storytellers in rap. And it's him telling his story of TDE, within TDE, him coming up in the hip hop, in the rap game, you know, being broke, being unrecognizable by fans, being somebody that was not seen as the guy in TDE, somebody that was just behind everybody, you know, the person that was J-Rock's hype man, the person that was, you know, looking up to Absol, trying to be who he thought was one of the greatest rappers, you know. All these things that were going on within the story of TDE and the story of Kendrick Lamar that a lot of people don't know, and he doesn't really talk about, you know. And I think this was just a great way to send off, because he's no longer part of TDE. He has his own label now, PG Lang, and he's not even part of Aftermath no more, which was under Dr. Dre. He's really standing alone as his own man right now. And to him to be able to still acknowledge the people and the label that helped him get to where he is in life as this moment as one of the biggest rap stars and just music stars in general, I think he did an excellent job with that. And I think this is just a beautiful song, and definitely a tearjerker if you know the history. Just excellent, just excellent. The next track, GNX. Wow. Kendrick Lamar featuring Hitta J3, Young Threat, and Peso. Now, what I love about this song is that Kendrick is setting up artists out of the West and it just becomes a very slick posse cut for them. And what's really cool is Kendrick doesn't even have a verse. Kendrick don't have a verse on this song. Kendrick just does the hook and then kind of like tags on the hook with whatever artist is next for the most part. And this is really giving them a chance to show out in front of the whole world. All eyes and ears are on this album, on Kendrick Lamar, and he's giving you a chance for them to hear you, and they do not miss. Standout in my opinion is the person with the first verse, Peso. I have to check his music out now because that boy was sliding. That boy was sliding, man. Like, oh my God. Hitta J3 was slick with his verse too. Young Threat, I think the way his cadence, he kind of came up like he was about to sneak up on you type shit. Cool verse. I don't think, I have no bad feelings about it. But all three of them together really made a great moment for the West. And what I like about the hook on this song is part of it is Kendrick saying, the hook goes, tell him Kendrick did it or tell him what other artist did it, right? But the part where he said, who put the West back in front of shit? Tell him Kendrick did it, just to, again, highlight what has happened this year. The West is in front, and I'm not just talking about Kendrick. There's been so many great albums from great artists out the West, and with him doing that, all eyes are on the W. They on Cali, and it's just been so great to see this go on. Now, the last track is Gloria featuring SZA. Again, SZA, beautiful portions on this song. Like, she just takes it to another level. The production on this song is great as well. This is a closer track. This is a true closer track. Like, it sounds like the end of a movie type shit. Like, Kendrick gets into his bag, and it's him, again, a storytelling type of song where he's getting to it and he's talking about this relationship and it's just like these ups and downs. It's very like everything going on in his life, and then that's when you realize you get to the last part of the song, and this whole time he's been talking about his pen. He's been talking about his writing ability, the thing that has gotten him to this point in life, and he's been talking about this back and forth relationship with it. And I think that was excellent. I love this song. Like, my mind was blown when I realized, when it got to the end, like, this is how you end the album. This is how you really prove to the world that you're one of the ones. And I'm seeing a lot of love for this song in particular. Like, again, it's just like there's no way to hate this song. Like, this is just great. Phenomenal. This is just, what more can I say, man? Like, each song is just so fucking great, man. Excellent album from Kendrick Lamar. Don't know where I'm rating it. I'm not going to ranking it. I'm not going to push no album that I just heard over some other albums I've had some time with. But I can say, like, I am feeling it. I'm feeling it, but I don't want to say it. But, like, it's already at least top 4. Like, it's amazing work from Kendrick. Now, to get into the conclusion, closing this episode out, I must talk about my favorite tracks. And I don't want to put them in no order, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. Reincarnated, easily one of my favorite songs off this album. TV Off, like, you can't not love TV Off. Squabble Up is insane. And then I would go into possibly Right now, I'm gonna say Man at the Garden, and then I'll wrap it up with Peekaboo. I'm gonna say those are my favorite songs: Reincarnated, Squabble Up, TV Off, Man in the Garden, and Peekaboo. Those are my top 5 songs off the album. With all that being said, how did you feel about GNX? Have you listened to it? Is it, one of your favorite albums of the year already, even though it was dropped in November? What's your favorite song off that album? Let me know how you feeling about it. Is Kendrick Lamar really back? Is the West Coast back? Tell me all your opinions about what was said in this episode in the comments below. It's been your boy Rorvis Paradox, aka Docs Brando, and I'll see you again for another Rorvis review next time. Peace.